Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Breaking famous actress says Geraldo gave her poppers and groped her, he's in trouble. Fox News commentator Geraldo Rivera, who pioneered sleaze TV, is probably the single least respected member of the network's staff alongside Juan Williams. It should not come as a surprise that, following all the sexual misconduct scandals, Geraldo would get caught up in one of his own. Many were stunned by Geraldo's strange defense recently of Matt Lauer. He tweeted, "Sad about it and Lauer great guy, highly skilled and empathetic guests and a real gentleman to my family and me. News is a flirty business and it seems like current epidemic of #sex harassment allegations may be criminalizing courtship and conflating it predation. What about #Garrison Keillor?" It made people wonder if Geraldo himself was hiding anything. People recently dug up an interview from 1991 when actress and singer Bette Midler described how Rivera assaulted her. Described Midler then to Barbara Walters, "Geraldo and his producer came to do an interview with me in the 70s, the early 70s. And this was back when he was very sort of hot." She added, "And he and his producer left the crew in the other room, they pushed me into my bathroom, they broke 2 poppers and pushed them under my nose, and proceeded to grope me." Midler continued, "I didn't offer myself up on the altar of Geraldo Rivera. He was unseemly. His behavior was unseemly. I'll tell you the truth. If I had known that, 20 years later he was going to wind up as a slimy talk show host, I never would have even let him in the room. Do you think Rivera is as disgusting as Lauer?" All y'all in trouble. CNN host just taunted Trump's staffers in nasty way for Michael Flynn. Foolish liberals have done everything short of setting off fireworks after word came out that former Trump campaign advisor and national security advisor Michael Flynn had agreed to a guilty plea deal with special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. Many liberal figures in the media have been peacocking and sharing this news with their viewers. Nobody, however, was more extreme than host Van Jones of CNN. Jones was a guest on Anderson Cooper's show AC 360, and he claimed that Republicans can no longer deny the seriousness of the allegations against the president. Said Van, "I spent about 10 years of my life doing criminal justice work in Oakland. I'm just going to make this as plain as possible to the CNN viewers, when one of the main homeboys turns snitch, a bunch of people about to go to jail. That's just how that works." Some people pointed out that Robert Mueller surprisingly only got Flynn to plead guilty to a relatively small lying charge. However, liberal Jones tried to spin it by claiming about Mueller that it means that he's got bigger charges coming for bigger fish. He then decided to taunt Donald Trump and his associates, sneering, "This is a huge deal, you cannot pretend it's not." Jones added, "One of your main homeboys just turned snitch, all you all in trouble. Do you think Trump will ended up getting the last laugh with this idiot?" I Am a Cherokee Woman, Liz Warren is not. Native American turns on Dems and tells them off. Left-wing politicians like Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren can usually count on the support of people who write on Think Progress, an unabashedly liberal website. However, one writer, who is of legitimate Cherokee heritage, used the site to call out fake Cherokee Warren for her fraud. Wrote Rebecca Nagel in her surprising slam on Democrat Warren, "She was not a hero to me when she failed to foster a haven of support for Native students within Harvard University's alienating Ivy League culture. She is not a hero for spending years awkwardly avoiding Native leaders. She is not a hero because, despite claiming to be the only Native woman in the U.S. Senate, she has done nothing to advance our rights." Nagel went on, "She is not from us. She does not represent us. She is not Cherokee. She then criticized former Harvard professor Warren for having categorized herself as Native American during a time when the minority status served her career and later dropped the marker after gaining tenure. She then penned an apology for fake Cherokee Warren to give to real Cherokees. It read, "I am deeply sorry to the Native American people who have been greatly harmed by my misappropriation of Cherokee identity. I want to especially apologize to the over 350,000 citizens of Cherokee Nation, Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians and the United Keetoowah Band." It went on, "In my family, there is an oral history of being Cherokee. However, research on my genealogy going back over 150 years does not reveal a single Native ancestor. Like many Americans who grew up with family members claiming to be Cherokee, I now know that my family's stories were based on myth rather than fact. I am not enrolled in any of the 3 federally recognized Cherokee tribes, nor am I an active member of any Cherokee or Native American community. Do you think Fraud Warren needs to apologize to actual Cherokees?" Laura Ingram just demolished Joy Behar for her psycho reaction to Flynn news. Democrats were beside themselves with news that former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn had decided to snitch on the Trump administration. However, nobody reacted with as much insane glee as Joy Behar of The View. In the middle of her live broadcast, an assistant brought her a cue card, and she read aloud, "Breaking news, ABC News Brian Ross is reporting Michael Flynn promised full cooperation to the Mueller team, and is prepared to testify that as a candidate, Donald Trump directed him to make contact with the Russians." She then tossed the card aside and cheered and clapped her hands like a maniac. Fox News host Laura Ingram called liberal Behar out for her hyperbolic response that a top government figure had pleaded guilty, commenting, "It's like she just won Publishers Clearinghouse." Ingram said that the only reason she played the clip of Behar is because she wanted to give viewers a laugh on a Friday. Behar's conservative co-host Meghan McCain also poured cold water on the liberals' celebration in real time. She demurred that it was a good moment for Democrats, but warned that it may cause America to become more polarized. She added, "Not to be the Debbie Downer, but if this somehow leads to indictment, the country's going to rip itself apart and it's not good for America." Do you agree with Ingram and McCain about Idiot Behar? Law expert proves Flynn's deal is a nothing burger that shows there's not much there. Liberals and Donald Trump's enemies within the Republican Party were cheering news that former Trump advisor Michael Flynn had agreed to plead guilty. They are acting like this somehow automatically means that the president will be behind bars, or at least resign. However, former U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia Joseph DeGenova, who is an expert on federal law, shared a much different take about what Flynn's deal actually means. Stated DeGenova to Fox News' Laura Ingram, "All of Flynn's conversations with the ambassador to Russia were perfectly legal during the transition period and even before." He added, "It's not a crime to communicate with an ambassador of a foreign country about foreign policy when you are the foreign policy advisor to the incoming president. So, I don't know why he lied. It's inconceivable to me. If he had told the truth, there would be no crime." The plea deal made Joe conclude about Robert Mueller's investigation, "This is a nothing burger. After all this time, this is what he gets out of Flynn? It tells me that there is not much there. It certainly can't involve the president, because the president has the authority to do all the things that he did." He also said that Mueller is going to run aground trying to pin Trump's son on the Logan Act, a 1799 law that says private citizens cannot negotiate for the federal government. Said DeGenova, "You can't violate the Logan Act when you are in the transition team. You are a government employee. You get a green check. When you are on a transition team, you are a special government employee. They can communicate with anybody they want. The Logan Act has never been enforced. And if Mueller were to use it in this case, then if I were the president, I would fire him." Are you glad DeGenova shared the truth about Flynn's plea deal? CNN calls Kate Steindl's murder a tragic accident, and Coulter, Sean Hannity, Bill O'Reilly fight back. Jose Inés Garcia Zarate, an illegal alien that had been deported 5 times, murdered 32-year-old Kate Steindl. He was let off by a San Francisco jury. Zarate illegally had a firearm, but the jury found that the bullet ricocheted before hitting her, and CNN is now calling it a tragic accident. After being deported 5 times, his punishment for the murder is being deported again. A disgraceful verdict in the Kate Steindl case. No wonder the people of our country are so angry with illegal immigration, tweeted President Trump. CNN's Kirsten Powers responded. Jury found that the shooting was an accident. Nonetheless, Trump repeatedly portrayed this as a vicious intentional murder, versus a tragic accident, in an effort to stir up bigotry against Mexicans, she tweeted. However, Bill O'Reilly, and Coulter, and Sean Hannity fought back. Kate Steindl's killer found not guilty of murder. Not since O.J. Simpson has this kind of verdict been dropped. At the very least manslaughter, he had a stolen gun. Awful, tweeted O'Reilly. It was San Francisco's sanctuary city policies that killed Kate Steindl. They did not obey the law. They followed these ridiculous liberal policies, and because of their stupidity and their form of justice and caring more about the rights of illegal, convicted felons, tonight Kate Steindl is dead and her family has received no justice, said Hannity. Kate Steindl's killer Jose Inés Garcia Zarate had been deported 5 times. San Fran sheriff had released him from jail despite a federal immigration detention request. During wall construction, when builders hit Arizona, they need to take a dogleg turn and take it up and around California, tweeted Coulter.